Last week was our first playoff game, and my plaque psoriasis was so itchy under all my gear. Sometimes just thinking about scratching could take me out of the moment. And then my doctor told me I could get clearer skin with a pill called Otezla.
Otezla apremilast is a prescription medicine used to treat adult patients with plaque psoriasis for whom phototherapy or systemic therapy is appropriate. Otezla can help you get clearer skin after just 4 months.
Okay, ready for the next game. Talking to my doctor about a pill was a total game changer.
Don't use Otezla if you're allergic to it. Get medical help right away if you have trouble breathing or swallowing, swelling of the face, lips, tongue, throat, or arms. Severe diarrhea, nausea or vomiting, depression, suicidal thoughts, or weight loss can happen. Tell your doctor if any of these occur and if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts. Live in the moment. Ask your doctor about Otezla. Call 1-844-4-OTEZLA or visit Otezla.com for prescribing info about cost, and more.
Acura's all-new ADX, a compact SUV that isn't just built for one thing. It's precision-crafted for everything. To escape the grind with available all-wheel drive. To go with your flow with available Google built-in.
Hey Google, turn it up.
Okay, turning up the volume. And crafted to be heard with an available Bang & Olufsen premium sound system. The all-new Acura ADX, crafted to match your energy. Acura, precision-crafted performance.
Take your vibes and go, 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 go.
Google is a trademark of Google LLC.
Let's party each and every year on Christmas Eve, where the fun and cocktail shrimp don't seem to end. Clark and Ralphie taking turns on the TV screen, laughing, singing, yelling with all of our friends. Well, it's Christmas, and let the bodies go spread the holiday cheer. 'Cause it's Christmas. Oh, it's the best time of the year.
Hey, Dylan.
Hey, Matt. I just want to say, I want to apologize to you and our audience because I always pick the most cheerful things for us to watch and
boy,
enjoy
do you.
together.
You sent me this, and I was like, are we sure we don't want to save this for October? And you said, I think you said, it's more lighthearted than most Black Mirror episodes.
I don't think I said that. I said I think it's more like a tech thriller than it is like horror. And I'm going to be completely honest. I still don't deny that. I wouldn't. This is not a Halloween-y watch to me. It is dark.
No, it's very dark. It's not darker than either of the Inside Studio 9 stuff that we
none of the
watched.
Inside Number 9 stuff, though it did give me those vibes. I love this shit, man. I love these anthology shows.
So this was
miss-
interesting because this was, I watched when Black Mirror first came out.
You watched the Pig episode.
I watched the 6 original BBC episodes of the show.
Hold on. I do want to touch on that first. What a wild first episode to have.
Yeah, that's a crazy first.
Teddy and I were talking about that last night. What a weird one. I probably would have made that maybe episode 3.
Well, but the other thing that's weird about it is I don't think it really captures what Black Mirror's about in the same way that all the other ones are. Like it's not as futuristic techie as everything else that would come after it. It's a really weird first episode. I watched all 6 of those when they dropped on Netflix, and I thought, oh, this was mostly good. They have some ups and downs.
Yeah,
but
I would say any anthology. There are some better episodes than others.
And then it got bought by Netflix, and I think I was just at that point where I was like, fuck
Damn
off,
the man.
Netflix. Yeah,
Damn the man.
Well, just because in my mind, what is so good about shows that are produced for the BBC is they're short, they're quippy, they only make them when they feel like they have something to say, and then Netflix is this constant generation machine of every year we have to have new content. So I just kind of was like, oh, they're gonna fucking ruin this. I just had this feeling. Now, from what I hear, that is not the case, and Netflix has mostly done a good job.
It's been genuinely good and I will usually every season jump in and watch a couple of episodes. I think I've seen a couple episodes of every season, but I've never seen all of the episodes. Because if I am able to read a description before I watch an episode, I can talk myself out of watching an episode real easily.
Well, but that was the other thing. So Barb was watching this episode with me because she loves Black Mirror.
Hell yeah.
And she was like, I can't believe that you don't like this show. And I said, it's not that I don't like this show. It's that I don't like how the show ultimately makes me feel every time I watch it. And spoiler alert, there's a point in this episode where a child freezes to death, and I looked at her and said, this is why I don't like watching this. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I think that it's brilliant and it's super well written.
Funny.
But it's
you
like,
just look over, this is what I mean.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's like Black Mirror never makes me walk away feeling good about the world.
And I think that's I think it's the same as a lot of the Inside Number 9s. Now, Inside Number 9, you will either go, that was clever, or walk away with this feeling. So that one's always a crapshoot. I think Black Mirror, most of the time, is this feeling that you're talking about.
And honestly, it's like there's enough stuff in the world making me say, oof, I don't want to live here anymore. Like, I don't need a TV show to do that. Like, I go to television to save me from those feelings and thoughts.
I get that.
So it's like, it's not that I don't appreciate the show. I don't like the show. I think the show is actually a brilliantly made show. I just do not have the bandwidth for the emotions that the show provides me 9 times out of 10. You know what I mean?
I totally get that. So you are not peek behind the curtain. I texted Matt after watching this episode, and Teddy and I started turning on the newest season 7. We've watched the first 2 episodes, but one of the episodes brings in characters from the feature-length movie that they did, Bandersnatch.
Yes,
like,
which I remember that. I think I watched some of Bandersnatch because that was like this unique interactive movie.
Yeah, it was like the choose your own adventure thing, and like the movie would also like fuck with you too. Like, you could pick the wrong answer, but the wrong answer would actually end up being the right answer. It was really cool what they did. But seeing those characters, I was like, oh, I want to go back and rewatch that. So we started a watch of that as well. I really enjoy Black Mirror. I think I don't disagree with you, and I think that the first episode, while it doesn't fit the technological and futuristic tone of the show, I think it fits the tone of what you're talking about, where it just kind of makes you want to vomit at the end.
Every time.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. Like, my favorite episode of the 6 that I watched is, I think, most people's favorite episode. I think it's The History of Us or whatever it is, where the guy has the eye implant and like just obsessively keeps rewatching a kind of nondescript interaction at a party, but becoming like hyperfixated on it and losing his mind. And I'm like, yeah, but you know why I don't like that? Because that would fucking be me if that technological, like if that technology was available to me, I would absolutely get caught up on some random thing that a human said to me one time and lose my fucking mind.
Yeah.
And like, I don't need to be reminded of how fucked up that is. Like, I'm aware.
So, the new season just dropped about a month ago by the time this comes out. And I was like, I wonder if Black Mirror has any Christmas episodes. And it does. And I would still say, when this was over, I was still wondering, I wonder if Black Mirror has any Christmas episodes.
Yeah.
So spoiler alert, while this episode is called White Christmas, save for maybe the fact that a Christmas party is happening, and that's how we gather some folks together, this could have been said at any time in the year.
Kind of, but also not, because I do think that the final act really does hinge on either it really only makes sense if it's Christmas for what the gift is and like why he felt like he needed to see. Like, I think that there's elements where it makes sense, but yes, a bulk of this is just what it is. And like, listen, first off, John Hamm's up in here. Love that.
I love John Hamm.
Like He's so enjoyable.
Even if it's something I genuinely don't want to watch, he just makes me feel happy. No matter what character he's playing, he could be the worst of the worst, but that dude just makes me chuckle.
Yeah. And it's crazy because he's so fucking funny. And like, that's not because he's so goddamn attractive. He gets to like do Mad Men, but also be like one of the funniest people in America. Like, it's almost unfair.
Well, it is unfair, and they do the 30 Rock bit. I don't know if you remember those episodes where he starts dating Tina Fey's character, and he's treated unnecessarily well by everyone around him. It's so fucking good.
Those 30 Rock episodes are great. That has one of my favorite lines that I think about all the time, because it's supposed to be that he's so dumb, but because he's attractive, he gets away with anything, including becoming a doctor. And she starts choking on something, and he's like, I'm a doctor. I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to push it down the rest of your throat. And he starts trying to shove his fingers in her mouth. It's so fucking funny and good.
Are you troubled by trying to find a great movie podcast to listen to?
Do you experience a love for monster movies from the classic Universal era to the modern creature features?
Have you or your family ever watched episodes of Elvira, Monster Vision, or Svengoolie?
If the answer is yes, then don't wait another minute. Open up your podcatcher and search for the professionals. The Monster Rally Podcast.
Our hilarious and asinine hosts have an ever-growing library of episodes for you to listen to 24 hours a day to serve all your monster movie needs.
We'll talk about it.
So, I mean, it starts off with two guys in a cabin. We don't know why they're there. It's very Twilight Zone-y.
See, that's the thing. I love shit like that because in my mind, I'm trying to figure out why these two guys are there. For some reason, my mind instantly, because they were talking about how snowy it was outside, my mind instantly went to something like The Thing. Like, these guys are researchers, and they're, like, stuck somewhere, and they're having conversations.
So, I don't know how much you've watched of the original Twilight Zone, but there's, like, 4 or 5 different episodes that I can think of where the conceit of the episode is, like, you are a murderer, and instead of the death penalty, we are going to fly you to, like, a remote planet where you just have to live alone, and your loneliness will be like the thing that destroys you. And like, that seems to be a little bit of the implication.
I
even
think
in
so,
the conversation
by the end.
Well, but even in the conversation, he's like, what did you do to have to come here? And it's like, it's not implied like this was a job they applied for, but like a thing that they were being punished by being sent to. Right. So John Hamm and Joe are the two characters. John Hamm's name is Matt. Matt,
John Hamm and Joe. Oh my god, dude, poor Joe. Which is so funny because, like, I've seen this British actor in other things before.
Yeah, but you watch a lot more British television than me.
Rafe Spall.
Yeah, that name's not going to cut it here in the States.
Better than Joe, though. Sorry, he was in Shaun of the Dead. He played the kid that said you got red on you. He played the kid that was in the fucking store. I'm just saying. I'm just pointing it out. As someone who recently rewatched Shaun of the Dead.
Okay. Anyway, we're going to be here for an hour if we're with these tangents. Matt is like, hey, tell me why you got here. I'll open up about what happened with me.
Yeah.
And going back to that episode that I referred to earlier is like my favorite history, the entire History of You episode, my favorite episode of Black Mirror. Using that same technology, he was running this illegal dating service, sort of, where you would get the implant in your eye, and him and a group of other people would give you advice on how to pick up a girl.
He would give advice. The person that was controlling the eye did not know that those other people were watching.
That's true. Yes, that's true. But yes, he with a group of other people would give advice on how to make things work.
Or wait, Because
he references other people at one point.
but that's implied in the beginning because they're having conversations and they're like, it was just you and him. Like, why would Matt lie to this guy and say, yeah, it was just me? Okay, whatever. Let's keep going. Doesn't matter.
Either way.
Doesn't fucking matter.
But so this guy goes to the bar. He sees this girl that he's really interested in, and they successfully get him having a conversation with this girl.
Yes.
Towards when she goes inside to get her coat, he's having a conversation with John Hamm, and she catches him having this conversation. And what we find out is that she is a mentally ill person who hears voices in her head and thinks, oh, this guy's just like me.
Yeah.
And takes him home with the intention of providing both of them the relief of these demons by killing themselves.
Yeah.
So she does a murder-suicide with a poison drink.
Did not know where this was going.
No, I love this whole
instance. It was so good.
The whole lead up to
So
this
good.
of him doing like the pickup at the bar and like all the different voices chiming in. I knew something bad was definitely going to happen, but I could not. I was like, is this dude gonna fucking murder this girl? Like, what the hell's happening here?
Exactly. And then I love the little bits of just running commentary that I had as like she's like, sit on the bed, and I'm like, oh, that's a really weird XXX neon sign you got on your wall. Is that like?
But John Hamm doesn't call the police for help when he knows that something has gone awry.
No.
Instead, he has them quickly like wipe all of the hard drives and make sure that no one knows that they witnessed this murder-suicide. But then we also find out a little bit more about Matt. And what we learn about Matt is that he also helps out with a program called Cookies.
Yeah,
and
he works for Amazon.
Yeah. My God, the life of a cookie is horrific.
Oh my God, this is horrifying. And I have a newfound respect for the Alexa that's sitting on the shelf next to me.
So, all right. So I'm going to read this paragraph real quick.
Yeah, go for it.
But said, Matt discusses his former job training Cookies, digital clones of people stored in egg-shaped objects, as personal assistants. He describes the appearance of a customer named Greta's Cookie that refused to be a personal assistant, only to relent once Matt made 6 months pass in the Cookies world in a matter of seconds.
Yeah.
Like
so
that he has control over that stuff.
Yeah, so we cut to Greta, who... she's in a hospital bed. Like, again, there's no hinting at this. We have no idea where this is going. And what happens is she goes under surgery and she has a copy of her made, like a little bit of her mind, futuristic tech shit.
Yeah.
And then put into what literally looks like an egg with a blue dot on it. And it is supposed to be basically your Alexa. And inside the blue dot is this copy of this person, and there's nothing to do. And so she's refusing. She's like, this is horrendous. This is crazy. And I love where we see in the flashback him just like, all right, like almost like whimsically is like, all right, I'm going to have to do this. I don't want to, but I'm going to do this. And then like does what you just said, makes a couple seconds be 6 months in her world. And then like it cuts back to the story and the words he uses. He's like, sometimes you just got to break them. And I'm like, Jesus, this is horrendous. Oh, but yeah, in that world, it's 6 months of her just sitting there day and night. Ugh, and that has more implications for our eventual ending.
We'll get back to that in a second. So after telling these stories, Joe finally starts to open up, and basically, he tells the story of his girlfriend Beth, who, when pregnant, is considering getting an abortion, which Joe is not a fan of. They have a huge argument, and then she blocks him. I will say, of all the technology, I love that. I wish that we could have that. But what happens when someone blocks you?
Kind of, because there is an abuse of blocking power that could definitely come into play.
100%. But when you block
horrifying.
a person, similar to the internet, you can't see anything related to them. I was talking to Barb about this because it was like, if I could block them and they were fully invisible to me and I was fully invisible to them, that's preferable to this weird fuzzy demon creature that
when they
haunts
pan
you.
back to the person who has them blocked, like it's literally a giant static person, and you just hear this.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I think that's worse. I think I would unblock you just to be like, please stop talking.
Yeah.
You are freaking me the fuck out.
But that's what I mean. If they just went fully invisible and it was just like they do not exist in your world in any way, shape, or form, and they can't see you. Also, half of the shit that happens in this episode wouldn't happen if the blocking worked that way. But
yeah, exactly.
That's neither here nor there. So Joe starts to lose his mind, and because he can still see this static version of his girlfriend Beth, he can see that she actually didn't terminate the pregnancy and that she's pregnant. And that he decides to go to the one place she knows she'll always be is Christmas Eve. She goes to her father's cabin in the woods. Yep. And he just starts hanging out there every Christmas Eve to try to see his daughter. But he is unsuccessful because the blocking continues to the daughter as well. But then one day he finds out that Beth has died in a in a train accident, and because of that, the block is now removed. He can see her picture
dies with the person.
Yeah, so he goes that Christmas. He goes back, assuming that the daughter will be at her grandfather's house.
Where did you think this was going? Like, did you piece together like what was taking place, or like when he walks up and she's like facing the other direction, I'm like, I did not know what was going to happen. I'm going to be honest. In my head, I was like, what fucked up monstrosity is about to turn around?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't think that Black Mirror would go that far. I knew that it was just going to be dark. But the child turns around and it has distinct features that are not of Joe's.
Yes.
Implying that it is actually not his child, but possibly from an affair or something else.
Has distinctly
Asian
features, and we had seen earlier these two be friends with another couple.
Yeah.
And the man in that partnership was Asian.
Yeah.
So we get a couple cutbacks that are implying, yes, there was an affair happening. And it does sound like when she was pregnant, like she wasn't upset because she didn't want to have a family with Joe. She was upset because it wasn't fucking Joe's kid, bro.
Yeah, no, and that's not great.
Yeah.
Now he goes into the house. The grandfather sees him. The grandfather's like, Joe, why the fuck are you here?
Yeah.
I will say that if a man... the grandfather knows enough information, right?
Yes.
I feel like he could have been a little bit more empathetic to the fact that Joe has just discovered that a child that he may have thought was his for years is not. The grandfather is not that empathetic towards this.
No,
and basically
he should have been like, hey, man, I knew that eventually this day would come. Like, take a seat. Let's have a conversation. And even talk to the kid, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid looks like, I don't know, old enough to know some form of something. Like, hey, this guy can be around. But
what happens instead?
Dude, this shit gets wild, even more wild than it already has.
Is Joe has purchased a snow globe that he was going to give to his daughter for Christmas.
Yes.
He unwraps the snow globe, and because the grandfather will not stop telling him to leave the house, he hits him in the head with the snow globe, which I have to say, pretty impressed that it was a one-punch takedown of this snow globe.
Dude, snow globes can be real fucking heavy, though.
Yeah, but he kills him with the single hit to the head with this snow globe, and then
snow
out of
globe
fear,
deaths are cool. I think we don't have enough snow globe killing in film.
I agree. But Joe panics, leaves, basically becomes a drunk on the street.
Yes.
And eventually gets arrested. And that's when he finds out that the little girl stayed hidden for a couple days, but when no one came to help them, she wandered out into the woods trying to find help and instead froze to death. Real pick-me-up episode from Dylan Lyles here.
Froze to death to what looks like, I know it's because it pans back to our two main characters in the house. And that's where you start to see, like, spoilers. We're going to spoil the whole fucking thing. I don't care. That's where you start to see that, oh, this whole thing has been an interrogation for Joe. But I will say, he looks out the window and sees the body, and it's kind of very Telltale Heart. He, like, trying to make him feel bad and shit. It does imply that the little girl died, like, 10 feet from the house.
It's crazy. But
I was like, damn.
Yeah. But Matt starts celebrating. He goes, God, that sounds like a confession to me, baby. And that's when we find out.
Check out. Like,
and that's when we find out that they're inside a cookie simulation of the cabin, and that Matt, using his previous job's background, was brought in to get a confession out of Joe via a cookie to get a reduced sentence for watching the kid in the beginning get murdered suicide and not reporting it.
Yeah.
Now, I have some mixed feelings on this next part here.
Okay.
So first of all, the cops are very confident that this confession is going to hold up in court. And, like, I don't know what's in this future world, but I feel like the confession of a subconscious that was ripped out of a skull might not hold weight. I don't know. Like, I don't know what that world is.
Also, like, a subconscious that was, like, pushed to the brink of confessing. Like, this dude's
was
been
forced
through,
to think that he was living alone
for
for 5 years without talking to anybody.
Yeah, I would tell you fucking anything at that
I know.
point.
After like 6 months, I'd start talking.
I killed them all!
Yeah. But then Matt does not go to
Nobody
jail.
clip that.
Matt doesn't go to jail for the events of this pickup business, but he's registered as a sex offender, which I feel like, is he?
Like, I mean, kinda. I mean, to be fair, how many random women did they, like, watch?
That's true. I didn't even think about that.
This is a very sexual thing. It just so happens that someone died this time.
Yeah,
but
that's
they were
fair.
talking about the one guy, like, getting a hand job, like his first hand job, and everybody was, like, watching and stuff like that. So, like, yeah, it is kind of sex offendery.
All right. Well, then he gets permanently blocked from everybody in the world, which, like, that doesn't. I would just take jail at that point. Like,
yeah, just lock me up, bro.
I was talking to Barb about that.
You can't even watch TV.
That's what I was like. Can you watch movies, listen to music, or anything? And she goes, "Well, you could, but you wouldn't see any of the actors, hear any of the dialogue, or be able to understand a single word coming out of the music." And I was like, "Yeah, that all sounds terrible. Like, I'd just rather go to jail."
I would do what the girl did in the beginning.
Yeah.
And drink the poison. I'd be like,
Yeah.
where did she live?
Now, this part I also think is kind of fucked up. After that, he walks out. He's blocked for the rest of his life. He's going to be a social pariah. He shows up as a bright red block, which I guess is like a sex offender color or something.
Yeah.
It's something to imply that he's more than just a regular blockage.
Yes.
Right? But then we cut back to the police office, and the police officer sets Joe's cookie to experience time at 1,000 years per second or per minute as punishment. And I'm like, why are we punishing the cookie? Why are we?
I think we're like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I feel like he's like, bro, I didn't kill anyone.
Yeah, I'm just like part of a brain. Like, fuck off. But I did write down here the song "I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day" by Wizard plays twice.
Yeah, it does.
I wrote down, and I truly do mean this, I think we could get a full episode just out of discussing the song "I Wish It Could Be Christmas Every Day," because I think this song fucking rules.
Oh, it's such a good jam.
It's such a good jam. I think that we don't do enough song-specific episodes of this show, and I would like to throw that into the contention as a song we should consider just doing, like a
hell yeah, man.
Even if it's like a 30-minute, like, let's break it down. Let's talk about like the history of the recording of the song, the history of the song, why we like it, break down do like a Krista Makes a Podcast style breakdown of like a Christmas song we like.
You
so,
got it, man, I'm fucking down.
I think that would be a fun one to do. But yeah, Dylan, you fucking depressed the shit out of me this weekend. So thank you.
So it's funny because I bring that up, but I'm also sitting here like, is there any more like of this shit? Like the Black Mirror or Inside Number 9. I've exhausted. There's only 2 Christmas Inside Number 9s. I think there's
we've seen both of them, but
one
that's
Black
all right.
Mirror. Going to the other like anthology series.
We already did the one Tales from the Crypt that there is.
Did we do the Weird Creep Show episode?
We haven't done the Weird Creep Show episode.
Oh, dude, that is just spoilers
Are you
for
locking
October.
that in October?
I'm locking that in for October.
Okay.
Have you watched it?
I haven't watched any of the Shudder Creep Show.
It is so fucking wild. Here's my preview for you. This episode rules if you are a fan of the 90s Power Rangers or the 90s Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
Cool. All right, I've written it down on our topics list that one of Dylan's October picks will be the Creep Show Christmas episode.
Christmas. Because again, it's Creep Show. You're not getting the same vibes that you're getting from Black Mirror.
Creep Show is way more fun.
It's gonna be it's fun as shit. It's a really good watch.
All right. I believe in us.
Hell yeah.
Dylan, I think that I'm going to lighten the mood for 2 more weeks after this. So stay tuned for that. And hey, man, have a white Christmas.
Yeah, man. In 3 weeks, I'll depress everyone again. Bye.
Oh, whoa, oh, oh, now we won't stop till the big ball drops on New Year's. Have a happy holiday. Have a great, great, great holiday. Have a merry happy holiday.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.